Hey everybody, thank you for clicking in and welcome back. In case you're clicking in for the first time, hey, this is your girl Medley. Thanks for joining. Today we are talking about how to find cheap student accommodation in Germany. Even if you're from abroad, I'll show you how you can find student accommodations online. I have 5 options I'm going to give you here for students on how to find accommodation. The first and the cheapest that I'm going to talk about will be university, like student university dorms. Yes, there are dormitories in most universities, not every. Most universities have dormitories that they provide for their students, but most often these dormitories are not enough to accommodate all the students. So yes, at the end of the day, there are students who have to go elsewhere and look for accommodation for themselves. Second option, guys, shared flats. We call them in Germany WGs. Yeah, there is an opportunity for students to live with other students or to live with other people. Let's say it could be a 3-bedroom flat and there are 3 separate students living in this house and they pay the rent or they share the rents together. That's option number 2. Option number 3, we have private dorms. Yes, because some universities don't offer enough to accommodate all their students, there are private dorms outside the universities that you can get accommodation for yourself. That brings us to option number 4, which would be studio apartments. Unfortunately, this is not quite common in Germany and it is not all that affordable, but yes, you have the opportunity to get studio apartments, which is more like living in a small self-contained space, which is perfect for a student, but unfortunately they're a little bit pricey and not so common in Germany. And then the 5th option, the 5th option is for my rich kids, an entire apartment. Because there are students who can get the entire apartment to themselves. Maybe let's say 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom flat. There are students like that, right? So yeah, that's the next option. So now that I've given you all the options that are involved when looking for student accommodation in Germany, let's talk about the procedure. You can check the student union of your university or wherever it is that you find yourself in Germany. There are usually some options. Check with your university, you realize that there are some options on how you could easily get a place to live in Germany. There are websites in Germany where you can easily find accommodations for yourself as students. And the first would be the WG Gesuch, Immobilien Scout 24. There is eBay Kleinanzeigen, that's another option. Check Facebook groups, okay? That's another way you could find accommodation as a student in Germany. Check Facebook groups and check the Facebook market. But be very careful with the Facebook market because there are a lot of scammers on Facebook market, and make sure you're not paying for anything without seeing it through the Facebook market. When you find an accommodation through Facebook market or whatever, one thing I would suggest is that you go with someone, like when you schedule an appointment for Besichtigung, that's like checking out the place where you're supposed to be staying. I would recommend that you go with someone, if possible, or at least you let someone know where you're going to. Just give someone an insight on what you're doing on that exact day that you're checking out this apartment, okay? There are crazy people out there, a lot of crazy people out there, but just try to be safe. Go with someone or leave someone your location when you get to that point. You're checking the house just to be on the safe side, and do not pay for anything you've not seen on Facebook market. Like I said, there are a lot of scammers out there. You can check Telegram groups. You would equally check like Instagram. I got this opportunity on Instagram where you could actually find accommodations. In case you're searching, you could find accommodations through Instagram and talk to people who you know who live around the area that you're looking for an accommodation. They might be able to refer you. That brings me to the tips on your search. After talking about the how, let me give you a few tips on the search. Like while you're searching, I'm going to give you like some few tips. The first thing is you need to see if school kind of provides something for you, okay? Because getting something through school is like the cheapest means. and it's quite easy because most often you live right next to school, if not in school. So check to see if school offers something for you. Another thing that I'm going to mention on tips would be lowering your expectations, because most often, especially when you're coming from abroad, you just think that, oh, as a student, I'm just going to get this place or that place, it's going to be this fancy, that fancy. Lower your expectations, okay? And settle for something which is affordable, because it's not as if students have it all that easy. You need to work to pay all the bills, so do get something that you know that you can, I don't know, you see yourself covering the cost within the next 6 months without any stress. Another very important tip that I should throw out is the fact that you need to start searching really early, because most often it takes months upon months until you find a place to stay in Germany. It's not quite easy to find a house in Germany, so if you can start searching like 6 months before the time when you need the house, the better, because then you even get like options. But start searching at least 3 to 4 months before the time when you need a place to stay. It's not that easy, but it's possible. I hear a lot of people from abroad, they'll be like, oh, we've been searching from abroad, we can't find anything. Another option is for you to travel. If you have a place, like someone you can stay with when you arrive, or you don't mind using an Airbnb or something, you can come and be there while you actually search by yourself. Like, go in person sometimes to see these houses, talk to the landlords and get the houses. It's way easier than when you're doing everything on the phone. The next thing you need to do is to talk to people around you. Talk to people who know someone living in that area that you're looking for a place to stay, and most often you're going to get something. At least talk to people, it makes it easier. Then the next thing will be setting notifications on the apps you're using, like the Immobilien Scout, the eBay Kleinanzeigen, Facebook, and all the like. You need to set notifications on these apps, guys, so that when something comes in, the app notifies you immediately and you can check and see if it's what you're looking for and you go for it. Because most often you're not the only one who is searching for an accommodation, which means that the moment something comes in, everyone's rushing to get an appointment to go check it out. That's the reality of searching for a house in Germany. But definitely, if you study in time, you can get a place to stay. Another option will be checking out the newspapers. I know it's quite weird because people don't look at the newspapers these days, especially the Gen Zs, but still go ahead and look at newspapers, because I know someone who has gotten a place where she lives through a newspaper. So yeah, sometimes there are adverts on the newspaper, so just look at the newspapers as well. To make it easier with Immobilien Scout, try to subscribe. It doesn't really matter because you can cancel your subscription within 2 weeks. You can set an alarm on your phone, and exactly 2 weeks onto that time, you might have found something. Subscribe, because when you subscribe, you get premium options. So try to subscribe on Immobilien Scout, and within the 2 weeks, like the 2 weeks free, you can get maybe a place to stay, and you cancel your subscription before you even start paying for that subscription, right? So it's kind of a win-win. The last point on these, guys, the last point on the tips that I'm giving you would be you avoiding the so-called card meter. Because in Germany, there are 2 kinds of rents. There's the warm and the cold. Just make sure you try to stick with the warm, because the warm means everything is inclusive, but cold mostly means that there is, like, I don't know, subsidiary costs inclusive. Maybe they call them Nebenkost in Germany. I don't really know how to explain it in English, but when you go for card meter, it means that there are other things you're going to pay on top of your rent. If you're going for van meter, most often that's exactly it. You get everything, like your Strom. Now it's like a language thing. Most often when you go for the van meter, you get your heating inclusive and every other thing that you want to avoid. But when you're with the cold rents, which are way more cheaper than the warm, most of the time you have to pay your heating after paying for your rent, and that can be a lot sometimes. Not sometimes, most often it is a lot. Just go for what includes your heating, because heating is something you cannot do without in winter. It gets really cold, you need heating. So go with the one rent. It might look a little bit more than the cold rent, but then you know in your mind that that's all you're spending at that point, and you don't need to think about anything at the end of the month again after you pay your rent. So that's it for this part of the video. There is going to be a part 2 to the video. Just stick around to watch it, and I hope it helps you find yourself a place to live in Germany. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe and join our community. Subscribe to become a part of this amazing community. Thank you guys for watching this video so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Until then, guys, do stay focused and stay blessed.